I wasn't really going to unbox this, but I just love the stamp that says contains magic from the Wild Unknown. And then look at, they did such a nice job of wrapping it up. This beautiful dragon's eye from the, this is from the animal spirit card. Quite like that. That's lovely. And then a little thank you card from the Wild Unknown. And then the animal print here. So I don't think they did such a lovely job packaging it. I had to show it. So I purchased this last, oh look at it, and they've got, oh look, that's neat. Stay Sacred. That's awesome. I'll give that to my daughter. She kind of collects pins. She has since she was younger. She probably still doesn't, but so I purchased this last week when I got the 3rd edition of Wild Unknown. I was feeling very, oh, Wild Unknown, Wild Unknown. I have to get their cloth. And so I purchased this last week. This is very interesting paper. It's like stretchy woven paper. I've never seen anything like that. Look at that. I mean, I've seen it around. I feel like I've gotten something like this around like a mug or glassware or something. Look, it's like stretches on it. That is very, very interesting. So yeah, so what this is the spirit cloth for the Wild Unknown. I don't think it's going to fit on my table, which is why I haven't purchased it up till now, but I just couldn't resist it. Because it's gorgeous. I'm hoping that maybe just the moon part, which would be fine with me if like the inner circle would. We'll see. We shall see. Plus Patrick had said that the book was quite lovely. Let's see if this will just slide out. This is a small handbook, a brightly colored. Very brightly colored. Look at that. That's interesting. Alrighty, I probably should pull stuff off of my table so we can see if this even has a shot of being fitting anywhere. I mean, I can still adjust my, if I was doing a reading with it per se, I can still adjust my camera with some finagling of, I just need to fix my power cord situation, and probably I could get it up higher. We'll take a look at that in a second. Let's take a look at this. Good. Early in the morning, but I just had to get woke up. Oh yeah, this is probably not going to fit, but look how gorgeous it is. So it has a lot of different things going on, and well, it might, the moon part actually, which is what I was hoping, fits on my table, not necessarily in my camera, but I can adjust that. But let me pull this down for a moment. Let's just look at the half of it because we can see a lot of what's going on. You have various options for readings here. You have 2, 3, so in the corners there's a 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for a 4 card that would go there. You also have, what does this say? May you always be on the Lunar Quest, maybe it says? I'll have to look at the book. I think it says Lunar Quest, and it has the Wild Unknown below it. We do have a copyright, which again, not, and it even says patent pending, so I don't like that whatsoever. I feel like this says the Wild Unknown Spirit Cloth. To me, that is enough of who, who is this from. This, I don't like that, especially the addition of the patent pending. I'm sure there's some legal reason why she needs it, but I don't particularly like that. But that's a little nitpicky, but I do like to point those things out when they show up. We do have the 4 elements, more tarot style over here with the cup, the sword, the wand, and the pentacle. And then on this side, which would reflect the Wild Unknown deck. And then on this side, we have the more elemental versions with the addition of spirit that we see in the animal spirit. So definitely connecting both of the decks and being able to use both the decks. We have 4 card, as I said, reading along the sides. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card reading showing right here. And then of course you can go all around, which has the moon phases. Let's see if I can move this up enough so that you can see. I'll fold it up when we get there. So we have the moon phases here, which is what I really loved about this. Going down here to the full moon. So it starts with the new moon and goes around and around and around and around back up. So you have a 12 card reading here, which would also then work for a wheel of the year. Or a year ahead spread, because you've got all 12 here. You also have the 6th card here. So in this script, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a different reading. You also have a 4 card reading, which is, I've done a reading like this with theirs, with the hands in the middle, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have that on their list. They also have a dot system here, 1 dot and 3 dot over these. Oh, there's 2 dot. 1, 2, 3 card reading straight in the middle. We also have the 6, I think, relates to 1, 4, 5, and 6 in the middle. We also have 1, 2, 3, and 4 lightning bolts going across the top. So these are going to be variety of readings that you can do with this particular cloth. Which looks really awesome. Like if you were going to go somewhere and sit at a table and you could have all these reading options, and it would just look really awesome, right? Let me grab, well, first of all, let's just grab the book. Where it is. There it is. The back of, it's got this little package here. 8 cosmic spreads for tarot and oracle cards. May you always be on an inner quest. I read it as lunar quest because there's no dot on the I, but that is inner quest. There we go. The Wild Unknown Spirit cloth. And then the back, you can see it's a 27 by 27 cloth, forever mind expanding. What else do we have? Illuminating instructions, inner wisdom. The bottom says, of course, again, the Kim Krantz of the Wild Unknown and Planet Earth. 8 readings, infinite mystic truths, and then it has an image of the entire cloth. They do an amazing job with packaging things, so that's not surprising. So here we have like a booklet that comes with it. Let me zoom in here. Oops, maybe I zoomed. No, I think you can see everything. Too much. We have the stars over here again. Kim Krantz of the Wild Unknown and Planet Earth. That must be a new thing. I don't think I've seen that before. This shows the key to apparently the different spreads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so it does talk about there being, does it say 8? I think it says 8. 8 readings, infinite mystic truth. So we have the 3 gems, the 13 moons, the issue at hands here, the Wild Unknown spread, the freedom spread, the secret spread, the omen, and the mystic truths. Mute my phone. What do we have over here? Use your spirit cloth with 1 set of cards, or with many, with a friend, with a group, or alone. Place 1 card on each symbol according to the key when it's time. Gently wash by hand and hang outside to dry. The wind will clear the vibes. And then on this side, believe in yourself. That is the message. I have a little problem with this script, apparently, because I couldn't quite read that as well. Open your spirit cloth on a clean, flat surface. Which symbols catch your eyes? Which reading is calling out to you? Write notes, take pictures, draw the images that arise from within. Do not doubt yourself. You cannot get it wrong. So definitely using up all the space, and very organic feel to almost more like the first edition, big opening up where it was kind of written in every little space used. So here we have first the 3 gems spread. The true gems reside within you. Use this spread for insight into where to find yours, or perhaps where you might have left them behind. Yes, the spread can be done with one deck, but it is especially suited for use with multiple tarot or oracle decks together. Pick your 3 wisest deck, pulling a single card from each to represent a gem or message where you must go where you must go digging. Question mark. Are you in search of the 3 gems? Or are these 3 gems in search of you? So here we have, right here at the bottom, you can see these already, the 3 gems. The gem of creation, the gem of destruction, and the gem of sustaining. That's quite interesting, actually. Let me pull these forward. I know I have it zoomed in, but still, look at now we can focus on it. So let's just grab, I have a few decks here. Let me get my Wild Unknown and my spirit animal. Let's just give these a go, the ones at least that we can. Okay, so here is my spirit animal oracle. I'm getting ready to do a passive reading, so I have decks all over, so I'm kind of boxed. I got too many boxes out and too many decks out. Okay, and then for the third one, here, let's just use my ever faithful shamanic healing. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, let's give this one a go, shall we? So I'm just going to, because I laid them this way, let's just do them this way. This is the gem of creation, the beginning, the opening, creativity, and birth, the gem of creation. This first edition is quite difficult to shuffle. I use it, I do use it for myself for readings though, because I quite love the backs of this. I quite love everything about this deck. Ooh, that one. Kind of wingy too, but we're going to go with the split. So here we have the Ace of Wands as the gem of creation. The beginning is that spark of energy, right, for the our creativity, our passions, our drive. It's like snapping into and grabbing onto that bit of creativity that we have. Let's see, the gem of destruction. So there's an ending here. It kind of feels a little bit like, okay, what do you want to hold on to? What do you want to release? And what do you want to focus on that's going to sustain you, which is a reading that I do a lot, especially for moon readings. And this is on a lunar cloth. So that's kind of nice to have that represented there in the middle, because I could certainly use it for that. So here we have the gazelle from the animal spirit. But this is about something, this is a gem of destruction. This is something that is ending. And so that's quite interesting. We have another fire. So this is fire and fire. The gazelle is kind of in the middle in terms of the hierarchy. What's interesting is about, this is also about vulnerability. It's a heightened awareness, but it's that feeling of vulnerability. She looks quite alert. You know, she could be being hunted by a lion. So there's a sense of vulnerability that needs to be ended, right? There needs to be, we need to kind of grasp it a little bit more firmly and not come to this from a position of vulnerability. So that's quite interesting. Actually quite pertinent to something that I've been working on. So I'll take that bit of advice there. And then the third gem is the gem of sustaining, nourishment, continuation, and support. So what is going to nourish and sustain as I, grasp onto new creative endeavors? This is a beautiful cloth. I really wish that it could fit on my entire table. Because really I don't mind so much about the 4 corners, because you have a 4 card right here with the hands. So I think I could make this work with a little messing with my my stand going up. My stand can definitely go up a little bit more, so I'll try that in a second. But let's focus on what's going to sustain me in this example here. here we have the struggle. So the struggle is what can sustain. That's quite interesting, right? Support through the struggle, and also that message is almost like a salmon swimming upstream. Can, you know, keep pushing forward, keep tapping into that. What is it that sparks my passion? What is it that sparks my? Don't be afraid of vulnerability, and keep moving upstream. It may be difficult at times, but just keep moving forward. So that's quite lovely, actually, of a message. So that is the first reading. I guess we're going to test some of these out as much as possible. Try to get these so they don't fall everywhere. But as much as possible, we're going to give this a go. Okay, so let's take back a look here. Take a picture of that in case I want to look at it later. Okay, so then let's put these aside. And this aside, and let's see what the next one's going to be. So the next one is the 13 moons reading. So of course we have starting with there's the 13th moon in the middle. So all the way around, and then the 13th card in the middle, which also again could be used as a year ahead spread. So the Earth takes an entire year to orbit the Sun. How easy is it to forget? We may even believe we are standing still. This is a spread for stepping back, looking ahead, and seeing the big picture. What will this year entail? What themes will follow us on our journey from season to season? So yeah, a variation would be a New Year's reading, January, February, March, all the way through, and the 13th card being the theme of the year. It could just be cards 1 through 12, give a glimpse of each month, yeah. And it could also be a birthday with the number 1 being the current month, and then going all the way around, and then the theme for the year, just starting at your birthday, which I sometimes do with year ahead spreads as well. So that, and then I could also use, I put the seasons in the 4 corners, and so that could also work for that. So this, I might actually use this for the for my year ahead spreads, although I kind of have a way that I do things, but it's quite gorgeous. So let's see, I guess now is the time we're going to see if I can try, let's see what I can get on here. Okay, I can get the circle. Now I'm going to zoom out and try. I'm going to mess. Every time I do this, I regret it because I mess up. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to really regret this, folks. I should have marked. You know what I need to do is I really need to like mark when it's where I normally have it, which I think I'm back to normal. So we're just going to, you know, pretend we can see all the moons. Let me actually move it up a little bit more. So maybe, well, this is the only one you really can't see, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead. Here's a little deck. So let's use this little Tarot of the Trees here. And I'm not going to go through and read all these. I just want to show you this particular spread. So on this particular spread, they're saying this is to be able to use sort of a, seeing all of the cards. So you would lay a card for each of the months. Now you could turn these, like I don't particularly like to have my card. I would probably start switching to going upright because I don't want them to be upside down. I don't know how I do that, but it doesn't really matter. So you would go all the way around. So those would represent either the 12 months starting with January, or it would represent starting with your birthday. So this for me would be in September and going all the way around to August. And then the final card in the middle would represent the energy for the year. So I have a year ahead spread video. I know Patrick has a year ahead spread. Many people do these at the beginnings of the year. I've already popped it up in the shop, and people are starting to think ahead. And then you keep tabs on this throughout the year. So that's really lovely to have that involved in there as well. And I love that it's the moons because I've been following the lunar months. So that's quite lovely. And you can use a bigger deck as well. Let me just grab, just out of curiosity, let me pick these up. Although I love little decks for this, like I do have this. I have the Arcana Tarot, which is card size, plain card size. That would also be lovely with the black here as well. But let's just, in terms of the spread, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, obviously they would have done this with the Wild Unknown in mind, so I assumed it would work, but, you know, one just wants to try it out. There we go. Switch like I did on the other side, and then you'd have one in the middle. So there you can definitely fit a regular sized tarot deck on it, which is quite beautiful, right? So, and again, I would assume that that would be the case since, of course, they would want us to work with the Wild Unknown or the spirit animals, but that fits on there actually quite lovely. So there is the 13 moon spread. We're just kind of peeking and playing. Okay, so that was the gems. That was the 13 moons. The issue at hand, we can see we have this kind of set up nicely for that. We have the 4 hands in the middle. So it is possible, it says, to avoid the issue at hand for a lifetime. Events, relationships, everyday details come and go, concealing the center. This spread is a lifting of the veil. If there is an elephant in the room, you will find it in card number 1. It is up to you to determine how cards 2 to 4 can relate and contribute to the issue at hand. So you will recognize the truth when you see it in the cards. Don't second guess, go with your instinct. So this is the issue. You can't get over it or around it or past it. Do not deny what you see. You must open your hand and accept it. And then these are 3 additional dynamics that play a role in how the story will unfold. So you could do the issue at hand and do sort of how this was the past, present, and future and how that might apply. This it leaves it open to use whatever you want. Whoa. You could also, well, let's just do, I am definitely going to dump cards at some point here. Okay, so you would draw, the 1 card would be the issue at hands, which here is the 4 of Wands. So I love that sort of coming together. That's actually a good card to have, right? It's a positive issue, I think, to have. But you could also read that in shadow, right? So, oops. All right, we are going to, just a moment. 1 moment, please, before I drop things and make an absolute mess. So if we read this in shadow, while this might be a celebration normally or a sense of a small completion, something that's brought to fruition, if we read it in shadow as an issue, it would be, which is very often the case for me, is not completing something, a lack of completing. So that depends on how you wanted to read it. And then you would draw 3 more cards that say this might be contributing to why there is not a completion here. So we have the 8 of Cups saying it's time to move on to something new. So something may have actually been completed and it's really time to move forward, and that's not understanding that whatever the situation is actually finished. We have the Daughter of Wands, which is again initiating energy. It's time to initiate change or maybe move forward. It's time to open up. So that's because of these 3 cards, I would say that there actually is something that is done and over with, but you're kind of stuck there. It's time to move forward to something new because of these cards that might be below. But again, I'm just kind of giving examples here of these readings, so I'm not going to go too far into them, but that's lovely. Like I said, I could really see this would be great to have if you just had like a group of people come over and you're going to do readings on it, do multiple, because there's just so many different options to do. I quite love that. So then they have the Wild Unknown spread. It says a classic spread turned on its head. Use the Wild Unknown reading when you need a little more insight than the typical 3-card version of past, present, and future. Pay particular attention to cards 1 and 6. What is the relationship between them? Do they speak again, or do they speak to or against one another? And what about card 3? La 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 la. So this has passed. Okay, so let's look. So this is taking place in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let me pull this down just a little bit. There we go. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the middle. So then these have, let's take a look at the positions in a second. I'll give it a good shuffle here. Oops, I shuffled something incorrectly. Okay, so let's look at these positions here. So we have number 1 as being the past. Number 2 as being resilience, a strength you've acquired that must be relied on. We have number 3 as the present, so past, present. We have 4 as the challenge. We have 5 as the future. That's never usually great, huh? And then number 6 is the wild unknown, a forgotten or underlying force contributing to the current situation. This wild card has a strong effect on the outcome, yet remains unseen by most. So then it's telling you, compare 1 and 6. Are they working together? No, they're not. I wouldn't say that those cards really work together. Although sometimes conflict can create new doorways, right? Open us up to new things. What about card number 3? Can you find peace with this message? The Father of Pentacles, getting stable and secure and pulling things in resources wise. Remember the wisdom whispers of the sages. The future is the past changed by the present. So this will be a 5-card reading, almost like a mini Celtic cross in ways with the feel of the positional. We've got some conflict underlying things that we may not be aware of that is affecting what's going on here. Again, beautiful 5-card spread that you have right there. Very cool. I do quite like this. I have to say that I purchased this a bit on a whim, and just because I do have all 3 editions of the Wild Unknown, I feel very Wild Unknown-y, and so I kind of rolled with it, but I do quite like this. So now we have the freedom spread. Now we start to get in ones we're probably not going to be able to see, but let's just see how I can finagle it. Okay, we need to try to get that at the tip. There we go. Now we can kind of see the ends at least. So this is a lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. This is the first one here. So not perfectly clear, but you can still see it in the cards. So then you would lie 1, 2, 3, and 4 up at the top for this particular spread. And so here we have 1 is to initiate movement towards freedom. You must. We have the Son of Wands, so the Knight of Wands. Go out and get it, right? We have an obstacle that will grace your path, and it's the Mother of Pentacles. So maybe feeling too stable, maybe feeling too protective, maybe feeling that sense it's right now isn't really a time to be nurturing, because look at all these wands. Clearly, well, this wasn't even set in order. No, this is my first edition, so I'm not sure if there. Lots of wand energy here. That's kind of crazy. Well, we have pentacles, but then we have the, I don't know, maybe I had this in order for some reason. So anyways, we're just giving example. So then we have moving past the obstacle will require the Father of Wands. Again, that active energy, that bringing things into fruition, that being in control, being in charge needing to happen. So we definitely have very active energy here. And then freedom might look like the Mother of Wands. So again, that nurturing sense, but it is in terms of creativity. So this, I quite like those positions though, to initiate movement, because I get a lot of people a lot of times do ask that question of, you know, I'm feeling stuck, how do I move forward? Or I'm often in, okay, I've got a lot of things on the burners or in my mind, but I'm not sure how I'm going to move forward. So this gives us an initiation, how am I going to initiate movement? This is an obstacle. This is how to move past the obstacle, and then this is what it's going to look like if we can get past it. So I quite like that. Those are nice positions there. Okay, so that's the freedom spread. Then we have the secret spreads. These are with eyeballs, it looks like. I don't know. Oh, these are the four corners. So these you're definitely not going to see. I'll just set them to the four corners. So here you have, there are secrets within and secrets without. The mystery is infinite, must remain so. The secret spread is for subtle seekers and deep thinkers, those with more questions than answers. Each card becomes a contemplation, a meditation, a prayer. What do the four cards say together? So the secret, so I'm just going to put four corners up here. It's not in the actual places, but here we have spirit, the secret to listening to, well, let's at least split it somewhere else so we get different cards, right? So the secret of, I love that, rising above, you get that feeling just looking at that card. The secret to listening to your spirit is getting up and above. The secret to increasing, actually one is down here. Let's do it right, even though they're not in the right places. Number 2 goes up here. Compassion. A secret to increasing compassion is to see the world through the eyes of a child. Love that. Courage. The secret to living more courageously is temperance, right? It is a combination between fire and water. It's an alchemical process of taking what we already have, the things that we're afraid of and the things that we've experienced, our strengths, and mixing those together, and that's going to give us courage. And then the last one is the secret to inner peace is self-confidence. These are just nutshells, right? I quite like that. I like that 4 card as well. That's quite lovely. And like I said, more meditative. That would be great on a full moon, I think. So that is the secret spread that you would use in the 4 corners. And then, let's see, a message. I don't really like things that make you spin around in order to read them because I get very easily nauseous. A message awaits, an answer whispers, a breakthrough glimmers in the sky. The omen card is like a star that pulls your attention towards the cosmos. Once you notice it, the whole galaxy can reveal itself. Shuffle and pull a single card, placing it over the omen marking. The omen card can stand alone as a single message or be added to any of the other spreads offered on the spirit cloth. If you use it with another spread, try pulling the omen card from a different deck. Diversity is creativity at work. Let the images speak to you. So here you can see the omen card, and because of where it's placed, no matter what reading that you use, you're able to pull that extra card. And like they said, you know, you might want to pull that from another deck. So you could do, I'm just going to randomly grab some cards here. So you could have done your 4 card reading here, and then you want to look and see an omen that you want to, which is one we already pulled. Let's get a fresh card at least. So you would pull an omen, and what is that going to add to the actual reading, right? You could be doing the 3 gems. And when you've done the 3 gems, you could go ahead and pull an omen card, which is Gazelle again. An omen card with the honeybee. I don't know why I laid those face down because I don't ever lay my cards face down. Then you could add the omen card. So any of the readings that you did, so you can kind of have that special message there. Or you could simply pull, this is for a 1 card reading. So what's the, if somebody's, you're just doing a simple 1 card reading, bam, there it is. So that's basically their 1 card reading that they made me go around and around in circles. A symbol, image, or concept that carries a message for the spirit. So that's the omen 1 card spread. And then we have the mystic. A single card to pull. Place 1 card on the tarot symbols and then place 1 card on the elemental symbols as an addition to any reading. So again, you could pull, a card from tarot and a card from oracle to add to any of the readings that you have done as well. So that is all 8 of the, let me make sure I put these back correctly. That's all 8 of the spirit cloth readings. I quite like some of them. I think, you know, the one card, it's nice to have though, because a lot of times you do pull that extra card. So I do think you need a space for that. And sometimes people do one card pulls. I do quite like this. I do this with some of my large tarot readings. And so, yeah, I think they did a good job with the card or the readings that they've put here. And then of course we have again the symbols, and it does talk about kind of coming to the cloth and seeing what jumps out at you. Does a diamond jump out at you today? Well, maybe that's what you want to focus on. Are the moons really calling you? Well, you could use the 6 card or the full. You know, it's that sort of what is the symbol that could be jumping out to you that would make you want to do this reading. So I think it's quite lovely. I think it would, again, I think it would be a lot of fun if I had a couple people over and we just were kind of playing around with different readings. I think that would be lovely there. I think it would be great if you were at a table doing multiple readings. This would be, because A, it's just visually, right, very beautiful and mystical looking, and B, it's, you know, it's just this conversation piece, and there's different readings that you can do, because again, you can do anything in these 3 cards here. You can do any kind of 4 card. It doesn't actually have the titles next to it, which is really nice because that leaves it open for it to be a 4 card reading of your choice, a 3 card reading of your choice, a 5 card reading of your choice, a 6 card reading of your choice, right? A 13 card reading of your choice, another 4 card option. So there's just a lot that you can do with this, and it stays open-ended, but it's got a lot of that beautiful conversation factor. So there we have it. This is just a look at the Wild Unknown Spirit Cloth. This costs $20, and you can get it in black, which I love black with readings, or you can get it with in white, which I'm not a big fan of white. You can kind of see on the backing a little bit of the show through of it, but it's quite lovely. It's a cottony feel. It feels almost like with those bandanas that you would get. It's not a silk, it's not silky at all. It's a very matte, like I said, it feels almost like that bandana material that, you know, it's kind of not flexible, I think, until you wash it. But again, you do want to hand wash this and hang it out to dry, both for energetically, and of course to keep these in place and not mess up your beautiful cloth. So that's very exciting to me. I am glad I picked it up because, again, I do really love the Wild Unknown, and so it's just a little bit of a fun thing, and I can see myself using it if I ever get out to be able to do like a fall harvest festival where I could do a table, which is one of my goals. I did not accomplish this year, but it is one of my goals. So if I ever could accomplish something like that, or get a little table somewhere at a food market just to do some readings, which I really do want to do some point, just for the fun of it, this would be completely perfect for something like that. So there we have it. I hope that you enjoyed this look at the Wild Unknown Spirit Cloth.